All right. Let's begin. Yeah, this quest can be, or these quests can be quite a pain. Especially if you're in melee. There's a lot of resistances. There's devils and demons and all that happiness. But luckily we have a bit of this. Using acid like I know a lot of these guys are going to be resistant. Trying not to get myself flanked too hard. The game does apply penalties and that stuff. We don't really see them, but it definitely makes it easier for the enemies to hit us when we are, flanked and surrounded by these guys. Oh, that was pretty basic beginning. Something I wanted to outline in this series was as many lives as I have on Fist. You don't get the cumulative effect of everything. Like there are plenty of lives that I've done that have no bearing on this this time around, this life. I do tend to run all this stuff by myself, which really limits your choices when it comes to what you want to play, how effective it'll be, maybe what quest do you have to avoid. Like historically, these three here, full of devils and demons and all that, and the other three, multitude of whatever the hell it's called. The one out there in the 12, the names are escaping me now, but all the ones that are full of devils and demons, if you're on a caster, you're worried about their immunities. And, some of them have spell resistance, and you also end up, even in these quests, you end up fighting little I can't even think of what they're called at the moment, but you fight, plenty of, there's so many resistances that you have to consider each time. So, if I was trying to come through here on a barbarian, I would have, potentially more damage, although I'm beginning to wonder. But I would take a lot more damage. And that's something to consider when you're deciding your group composition. It's nice to run an R1 when you can. I know I say all the time everyone should, but it's not. If you have to run something on either to achieve that ability to do it on your own or with two people, then you run it on elite. And you don't let anyone, even me, tell you, oh, don't do that, man. It's your experience. One of the reasons I'm doing this series is because I know there's quests that I can totally skip. Because I'm doing it by myself, I know what a hard time it's going to be, and nothing really sets you back like having deaths. I think Terry said it well the other night. If there's no risk of death, it's kind of, it's not really that exciting. You want to achieve as much as you can with each life, whether that's Reaper points or, the ability to maybe knock it out a little quicker, get things done. You want to make each life count for the most that you can, whether that be past lives, planning your iconic so that you don't repeat. Like right now, I'm doing this quest on Fist to get my last Deep Gnome, but if I take a look in here, I've already got 3 wizard. So because I didn't plan it well, although this didn't exist when I started doing my wizard, his was done a long time ago. But because I didn't have a chance with this guy to plan my lives well, I'm going to use this entire 15 to 30 run, and I'm going to get kind of half what you would normally get. Anybody else doing this is getting both wizard past life heroically, as well as the iconic, you know. But this is my last Deep Gnome, and I want to be able to, for me, have other characters, you know, that are able to use the Fate Arc Illusionist. You know, obviously I have this Gritic Host right here. But I want to be able to use this and have as many Deep Gnome past lives for the Illusion DC and the Acid spell power, which is why I'm running an Acid now. I have 10 spell power more in Acid than I would if I was running in Fire or Electricity. Though I will swap to one of these if it's a enemy type is going to be number 1. Immune or resistant to acid, or number 2, vulnerable to one of these types. The net gain is, you know, in one of these. But I wanted to be able to use this tree as effectively as possible, because when I go and, again, try and fill in some of these, you know, for completionists, you have to get one of each of these heroics. So there's at least one. But you look here, there's 1 barb, 1 artificer, 1 fighter. I'm going to have to come back with some of these guys and do other things, you know, do other builds. And having, if you're by yourself, or even 2-manning or 3-manning, having some type of CC, it saves you a ton. If I stop throwing, I'm going to stop throwing this color spray, and it's going to be a lot more damage, a lot harder. They're going to be able to hit me with spells, you know, hold me, fireball me. It's going to be a lot different. So for the demonstration, I just won't throw that any longer. If we're going to start moving more, I'm going to have to, you know, I'm not going to get them as easily with a swing. Luckily, I have the benefit of having 2-handed fighting, so strike. See, taking a lot more damage, not being able to hold these guys. This guy's super immune. Yeah. I'm just gonna refresh these because I know I'm gonna forget if I don't. But yeah, as you can see, a lot more damage just trying to crazy tank through there. But you know, that's why somebody playing a bard or some other thing, the support is just as important as raw DPS. You can't have all support, no DPS. I've said this before as well. There's a fine line where if you can just slap things down and heal through a little bit of damage, you're fine. But as soon as you get to content that's just tough enough that you can't, you know, 1-2 shot things, everything falls apart. Without someone effectively tanking or just being able to... Oh, where'd you go? Sneaky little bugger. Yeah, without someone being able to tank the damage effectively, be a superior healer. You don't need to CC, you can just get someone standing by pumping you full of hit points. It's still better to hold things and not take the damage. especially in Reaper, especially if you're alone, damage mitigation and avoidance is way better than just being able to heal. Because that tactic, even if you can just heal through the damage and you're like, screw it, I can heal through the damage, that locks you into an R1 type of mentality, which is fine. But I don't have nearly as many Reaper points than a lot of people do. But I've also gotten where I am pretty much by myself. His points are much lower than other people's, but they got together, ran R10 content, ran Reaper raids. You know, if I look here at his at his points, you know, 56 is not a lot. It's not a lot of points, but me acquiring these 56 by myself or running with a couple of guildies is getting to 56, having to run R1 or squeak in an R2 or push Reaper when you can to get there. I put in as much effort as people who have max Reaper points. But I guess to my previous point, it's not nearly as effective to do it that way. I didn't have a lot of choice because I don't like running with bugs and all that. And being the leader of Knights of Dawn, I don't get together with other guilds. Not that I'm against running with other guilds, but ooh, that failed. Yeah, I try and stick to building this guild and not so much someone else's. I've taken Fist out of here and helped another guild before, one that happened to be smaller than mine. But to my knowledge, every guild that I've ever helped, I've ever taken time because I was alone in Knights of Dawn and went, have surpassed me in guild levels. There are people who have left this guild, started their own, and they just invite, you know, whomever, and they are higher than our, almost 119. But again, this is a handful of people knocking this out, not a guild full of 30, 40, 50 randoms. Now, they're going to come out on top of that because they're going to have things I don't have. But just like with Fist here, I'd rather do it my way, help people along the way, and accomplish it what I feel is a better way to do things than to just kind of sell out and say anybody who wants to come in, not know one person from another. Because you know what happens with those larger guilds? I end up training the people who join those guilds who, in some instances, stay in those guilds and help those guilds acquire those levels. And I'm the one who takes people back to basics and explains their build and helps them run quests. And a lot of times it's fill in the gaps of their knowledge to get where they want to be. That happens all the time. There's probably, 20 instances of that. Also, do yourself a favor and memorize these puzzles. I have this weird thing where I don't, and then I end up talking about being effective. Yeah, don't do stuff like that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Or that. I don't memorize things, I don't pay attention to things, and then I end up being less effective by wasting my time doing stupid puzzles. I believe this is wrong. Yep. Yes, it is wrong. Let's swing it this way. Blow up that trap again. Yeah, it's always smart to come in, look at the trap, and just turn these first and make sure that this is going to be the next one that was going to go off. Like I just said, don't do that. I want to say this one comes around here. Maybe? That doesn't need to be turned at all. Something like that. Archon is the word I was looking for. They also have a lot of, like, they're completely into this. I really should have switched to another element, but pretty resistant altogether. But if I can give any advice to newer players or people who want to start knocking out past lives, plan them out. Plan them out. Because if you don't, at least in my case, you end up in a situation, hey, that's not going to turn at all. You end up in a situation where you feel, for me, it starts to feel almost like work. It should never feel like, never do this, by the way, this is a trap. Don't do that. Buttons over here. So short. Yeah, at a certain point, I wanted to, or many times, I wanted to achieve a certain thing, and in order to get there, I was forced to, play a build I didn't want to play. For me, nothing feels worse than kind of doing a build or getting a certain life because you have to. But if it was super easy, everybody would have every completionist. So I guess that's the other part of that. It's how bad you want it. Make sure we have full 92. There we go. This one's kind of a pain in the butt because you got to keep moving around. But at the same time, they're going to throw down blade barriers, which makes you not want to keep moving around. Fortunately for me, these guys are doing light damage. We're going to do one of these. Unfortunately, we got to get in here. I did not invest as heavily as I would like to have in the healing on this. I really didn't feel like I'd have to heal so much because of the CC. I felt like I would not be taking huge amounts of damage. No, they're resistant to fire, but not immune. Switch to cold. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Also, know your enemies. That's a good piece of advice. If you're going to go into a quest, know what's inside of it. Know, what resistance you should be throwing. I mean, this entire time actually I have, and I'm not even using, you know, resist energy and all that. I definitely should have had some type of... Defenses are always easier than healing back the damage that you take, always. I don't run these often, so I'm going to try and do a couple of rolls and see if I can't find... No, I cannot. No, I cannot. Alright. That is going to be it for this one. I'll catch you on the next one.